Hi there, this is Miss Caitlin from Fibo Kids Art Academy and welcome to another fall daily draw. Today we're doing day 28 and it is fall weather. That's what we're going to be creating today. Now for our picture, I have this adorable little person who is just going through the very windy fall weather. You can see she's all bundled up, the leaves are blowing everywhere, and we're going to go ahead and create a picture just like this. Now, this is done in color pencil for the most part. There are some parts that are done in marker, but I just want to let you know that color pencil usually takes a little while to build up the layers and build up the color. So if by the end of our little daily draw, your colors are not as bright as mine, that's because I did many, many layers. So you can feel free to work on this one even after our video time or just throughout the day. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna need a piece of paper for our daily draw. You can go ahead and take out any paper you like. This is a color pencil project, so you have a little bit more flexibility with the kind of paper you'd like to use. Let's go ahead and start off with writing the number. So for me, I'm gonna be using a Sharpie today just so that you can see what I'm drawing, but I want you to use a pencil. That way you can erase anything. All right, so let's go ahead and put that box at the top. You can make this box as fancy as you like or as simple as you please. I'm going to make it pretty simple today. It's all right. 2 and an 8 for 28. All right. Now for our person, her face is a little tricky because you could either do a circle, which is a little easier, but you could also add a little bit of a curve on the side to create kind of a cheek because she is kind of facing in this 3/4 view. So let's go ahead and draw the circle first for anybody who just wants to take the route of that. So right about here in our paper, not quite in the middle, a little towards the top, go ahead and draw a circle. This will be a basic shape for us to kind of place other parts of her facial features as well as her hair, her hat, etc. So let's go ahead and actually draw in the cheek if you want to do that for your picture today. So if you are going to draw the cheek kind of the way that we have her drawn here, you can see her face is not a complete circle. You can see the curve of the circle here and then kind of like this extra shape that we added. That's you if you want to draw that. Draw a little curve that comes out and back in towards the circle. And then take your eraser and erase this line because now you don't really need it. Now she's going to be facing again a 3/4 view, so her face isn't going to be directly in the middle of our circle here. It's actually going to be towards the left side. So go ahead and draw 2 eyes. I'm going to draw 2 ovals for eyes today, a nose and a mouth. You can draw these however you like. You can add eyelashes, eyebrows, whatever you desire. All right, let's go ahead and draw in the hat. So for the hat, she's wearing kind of this beanie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go towards the top of the head and I'm going to draw a curved line like this. You can see it's a little bit slanted. Then I'm going to go to the side of her head here. I'm going to draw a curved line up, very small, and a big curved line back and around to kind of make that part of the hat that's resting on the head. And then, hey, check this out. You can erase this line here and this line here because that's part of our basic shape of the circle that we don't need anymore. It was just there to help us place things. Now let's go ahead and draw the hat. By the way, you can pause the video at any point if you need. You are going to start on the top of the hat here, or top of the head. You're going to draw a wavy line up. Go to the side here and draw a wavy line up. And then you can draw a circle on the end. Now check it out. There's a part of our basic shape that is in our hat. We can't see through our hat. So go ahead and take your eraser and erase this line here because you also don't need that anymore. All right. Now you can go ahead and draw some hair. Now, if you are drawing a boy, maybe you just need to draw the ear. If you're drawing a boy, you can draw an ear right here by drawing a backwards C. Or if you want to draw long hair like a girl, you can go ahead and start from this side on the bottom of the hat, draw a line down, and you can decide how long you want your hair to be. And just make sure you draw a line from the back of the hat, connect down to make a part of the hair. If you want her hair to be really, really fluffy, maybe you see a part of it from the other side of the hat. So you can draw maybe a diagonal line down, curved line in. Alrighty, you guys, let's go ahead and start drawing some of those fall clothes that we wear. So she's going to be wearing a scarf today, which means we need to draw a curved line from the bottom of her head, and then a curved line back around. Now, if you're drawing a boy, you're probably going to be able to draw a curved line up, but for me, since I'm drawing a girl, I can only really go to where her hair ends. You can, of course, draw parts of the scarf that are kind of flowing in the wind. That's just going to be 2 lines out and connect. You can draw a little part of it also that's behind. And by the way, make sure that you erase any parts of your basic shape that's going through any hair. All right, now we're going to go ahead and draw her jacket. Now her jacket's pretty long, but it's not quite a winter coat. It's more so just, a light jacket. So we're going to go ahead and start on the bottom of our scarf on this side and draw a curved line down. Go to the back of your scarf, draw a curved line out. We almost want the jacket to look like it's also being blown away in the wind. So let's go ahead and connect with a curved line. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and draw in the arms. Now she's got one arm and one hand kind of holding onto her scarf, and she's got the other arm just kind of off to the side. So let's draw this arm here that we're going to see. So first I want you to draw a rainbow. Make sure it touches almost up to the scarf there. Connect with a curved line. And then you can draw a little U shape underneath for her hand. Maybe they're mittens. All right, now we're going to draw the other arm and hand that's holding onto her scarf. So head on over to the scarf on this side, draw a curved line for the hand. And then for the arm, just draw a curved line that comes back and touches the side of the jacket. You don't want that too big, you only maybe want it about this large. Finishing off the jacket, just go ahead and draw a line down right here, because again, our middle of the body is actually facing a little bit towards the left, so we're going to put that seam, that place where you button up or zip up the jacket, right about here. All we have left are the legs. Now for the legs, one leg is going to be kind of stepping forward while the other one is stepping behind. So for this leg, it's going to be straight down. So draw 2 lines straight down. You can draw the foot as either an oval, or you can draw a diagonal line out and then connect. All right, for this leg, we're gonna go to right about here. I want you to draw a slanted line and a slanted line. 2 lines out. Go right here and draw a tiny slanted line for the top of the foot, and then you can connect. Now, she's probably wearing boots because it's cold. Same for boys. You might be wearing boots. You might be wearing regular shoes. So go ahead and draw a curved line here and a curved line here. All right, so now we've got our person. Now for the background, you can decide what you want to do. Keep it simple today since it is just supposed to be a fast daily draw. But for me, I'm going to add in just a ground line. So I'm going to start on the side of the arm here. I'm going to draw a curved line down. And if I follow that line almost like a hill, go to the side of the jacket, curved line down off the edge of the paper. If you'd like, you can draw a tree that has lost all of its leaves. Drawing trees I find is really easy because they're very organically shaped. So all you need to do is first draw the trunk, so draw 2 lines up. This tree is going to be quite thin, but you can draw it thicker if you'd like. Then I'm going to draw some jagged lines up. You can kind of decide how tall you want your tree to be. And then you can draw some branches kind of poking out from the tree. You don't have to put too many if you don't want. It can be a pretty simple tree. All right, you can also add some leaves onto it. To draw a leaf, you can either just draw an oval, since they're so far away. You can also draw leaves that are blowing away in the wind. And when the leaves are blowing away in the wind, you're not going to see complete leaf shapes like this all the time, where it's a curved line and a curved line. Oftentimes they'll kind of be shifting and blowing and tumbling over each other. So sometimes you have to draw leaves that look like this, because you can kind of see they're curved, they might be on their side. So curved line, curved line. You can make them different sizes. Having a variety will help. If you know how to draw another kind of leaf shape, I encourage you to do so. Now what you can do once you've got all of your different shapes added in, you're pretty happy with how your picture looks, you can go ahead and start to outline everything with Sharpie and we can color. Just to make it easy on us today, I already have a Sharpied picture here without all of those pesky eraser lines that I had to make because I did mine in Sharpie. So let's go ahead and just fill in some of these parts of our picture. Now for her skin, I actually did a color of marker. I have some different skin colored markers here. I have a tan right here. So I'm going to use this to fill in her face. You can, of course, use color pencil on this part, but this is just to make it a little faster since we're going to be using lots of color pencil in general. All right, for her hair, I'm probably going to do just some marker there for the shadow. I'll take a brown. I'll kind of outline the inside of her hair. And I might do a couple of lines up just to kind of show the different locks of hair that she has. Now, if you did a boy, no worries. You can just color in your hair how you need to, if you've added any kind of on the sides of your head. Okie dokie. Now for the rest of this, it's color pencil time. So again, you're gonna see in the video, my color pencil right now is going to be very light because again, just to keep this video short and sweet, I'm not gonna be adding like all the layers that I normally would. But I encourage you, take your time, add in those color pencil layers. I'm gonna use a dark brown to fill in the rest of the hair. Again, kind of holding my pencil up high, pressing light, and adding in the color of the hair. Now, I want all of the colors in this piece to be very much fall themed. So I'm not going to use really bright, summery colors like bright pinks or bright blues. I'm going to stick to colors like, sort of earthy greens, browns, reds, oranges. Maybe I'll use a little bit of pink or a little bit of purple in some areas, but not too much. So try and really think about, the colors that you associate with fall when you go to color in our picture today. I am going to use an orange color pencil, if I can find it. It's kind of sneaking in here, I think. I'm going to use the orange color pencil to fill in her coat. There you are, hiding towards the bottom. So I'm going to use it on her coat as well as this area of her hat, the main part of the hat. Now again, I would normally do like 2 to 3 layers for the color pencil in order for it to look very vibrant. You can see that even with one layer, it's pretty bright. But if you looked really, really closely at my picture, the layer is not super even. So again, I'm just kind of guiding you through the colors, but because it's color pencil, I do want you to take that extra time to add in at least 2 to 3 layers in these spaces. I need to sharpen this pencil again. Also make sure when you're using your color pencil that it's nice and sharp. That way when you're holding it up high, you're using more of the side of the color rather than the tip, which makes it go faster. So you can see, even though I'm coloring in this large area, I'm able to go pretty fast because I'm using my color pencil more on its side. Now holding the pencil up high also forces you to kind of press lighter, because if you try to press hard while you're holding up high, it's going to hurt your hand a little bit. And you definitely don't want to do that. You need your hands in order to create art. Well, I guess that's not always true, but for our artwork today, you definitely need your hands. I've seen some people create artwork by tap dancing. You definitely don't need your hands for that. You need tap shoes and probably your feet. But for this one, we definitely need our hands. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in the hat at the top here. Again, just kind of trying to get my layers even as I possibly can. The reason why you want to do the multiple layers, besides for it looking neat, is that it's going to fill in some of those little white spaces that get missed in the first couple layers. So you can see as I do 2 layers, it starts to look a little bit darker. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the scarf. I'm going to use kind of this yellowy orange color. I'll do like alternating colors here on the scarf. You could do it all one color too. It's your picture, so you get to decide how you want it to look. Maybe I'll do a bit of gold as well. Now there's a colored pencil technique that I want us to do on this furry part of the hat, as well as on our gloves, to kind of give it that look of fleece. Because fleece, we might start wearing it more in the fall. So this is where I'm going to use a purple color pencil. I know, a little bit outside of our color scheme here, but trust me on this one. I'm going to go ahead and give that a sharpen. Take a color pencil of your desired color, and you're going to move in little circles, almost like you're scribbling, but not quite. This is called Scrumbling. So you're kind of moving in little circles and creating this kind of texture here. Now, normally when we do this, we want to make these very tightly packed so we get the color really solid. But today, we're kind of using this technique to create that fleece texture. So you don't need to make the color super duper solid. There can be a couple white spaces because we can move in with a red color pencil or another color pencil color and lightly fill on top. Now, I know that might be a little tricky for you to see for me or on my video, but in real life, you can still see the kind of work that we did with the Scrumbling, and then the color on top is just gonna fill in all those little white spaces. Now, if you wanted like, a light colored fleece, maybe you could just do a really, really light-handed layer. I'm also gonna do it on the top here, like little pom-pom balls that are on the top of some of these coats and jackets sometimes. I'm gonna keep the pants white because I think that'll just be a nice contrast from all these very dark colors. And then I'm gonna fill in the boots with the dark brown. So it'll be pretty easy. It's a small area. We can get lots of detail done with color pencils. All right, so now what we're gonna do before we move on to the biggest area, which is gonna be filling in some of the ground here, I do want us to take some time to fill in any little details in our background so we can do our tree and our leaves. Now the tree is pretty easy because it's very thin. Well, my tree is drawn very thin. So I can take my color pencil and easily just kind of navigate my way through all of the little branches. Color pencil is great for this purpose because it really allows you to get lots of little detail work colored in. For the leaves, I can color them in with browns, golds, oranges, reds. Maybe the occasional green leaf. I know depending on where you live, maybe the trees are always green. I know here in California, at least in the southern part where our Fibo is, the trees we don't really have fall. We don't really have seasons. But I used to live somewhere where there was seasons, and fall leaves, oh, gorgeous. So maybe that is the case for you. You live somewhere where you have all 4 seasons and you get to see the leaves really dramatically change colors. You're lucky. All right, so I'm filling in some of these other leaves. You can see you can do different shapes, different sizes of the leaves. I'll do these last couple maybe with a gold. As for other things you could add in your background, you could add a leaf pile, like maybe our little person was trying to, gather up the leaves so that way they could, get them out of the yard, or just make a leaf pile for everybody to jump in. All right, now we're gonna do a little bit of work on the ground just so that it stands out a little bit and we can kind of get a really good idea of where our background is and where our foreground is, because right now it kind of is all blending together. It looks really flat. So I want you to take a dark green color pencil first. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some texture lines for the ground. Now, remember, when things are closer to us, they're bigger. When things are farther away, they're smaller. When things are closest to us in the foreground, they're going to be lower on the paper. When they're farther away in the background, they're going to appear smaller. So when we go in to add these little texture lines on the ground, I want you to make them longer towards you, the artist, the viewer. And as you start to make your way back, you're going to draw them higher and smaller. So again, I'm going to have to press a little hard just to show you, but I do want you to do this pressing light. You can add as many of these lines or as few as you desire. Do try and spread them out a little bit. You don't want them all to be totally bunched up. You can even do this with multiple green colors. That might make it look a little more interesting. So again, make them smaller as you kind of go back towards the tree and bigger as you come closer to yourself. All right. Now to fill this in, you could either use one of the greens that we used just now, but I recommend using a lighter green. So that way you can still see all of the texture lines that you did, and it'll just stand out really nice. You're gonna have to make sure that whichever pencil you use is gonna be nice and sharp. You could even do this part with a yellow color pencil, and I think that would still stand out really, really nice. Now, because this is a light color, you might have to do a couple of layers. And what I recommend you do is you try and use only horizontal strokes for this part. So that way you can really see like, yes, this is the ground. If we do vertical strokes, it'll kind of draw our eye upwards. I know that sounds a little strange, but it's a thing. The direction your strokes are going matters sometimes. So try your best to make horizontal strokes comfortably. If you need to turn your paper so that you can do that, please feel free. You can see for me, I kind of adjusted and I'm making the strokes like this with my hand. You could again turn the paper if that's comfortable for you. You always want to make sure that you are comfortable when you are using color pencils. It's just a lot of work. All right, so like I said, I would definitely do way more layers than what I've done here, which is just one layer. And I'll show you the difference between the two. So check this out. Here's the one that I did with just a few layers, maybe like one. And here's what it looks like when you do multiple layers. So the colors are very solid and bright. But that does conclude today's daily draw. Again, I encourage you to share your creations onto the Fibo Village Facebook page if you're not already a member there. I hope you enjoyed this little daily draw, and we will see you again very soon. Bye, you guys.